Say what? Look.
It's the new OGs. The new OGs is a State Master Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner or own a commercial building in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, raise the value of your property, and do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a black-owned company working with North American-based panel makers who have over 30 years of solar experience. They even have a referral program that pays out a minimum of $750 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Bobby.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hey,
bud?
man.
How you doing, baby?
I'm doing real well, man.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at the crib, but even here at the crib, I'm listening to what you say, and some shit changed, so I got to make sure I got it right.
Make sure you get it right.
Still sounds like people can save money.
That's true.
It still sounds like they can do their part to help the environment.
They can do their part to help the environment. That is also true.
But smack my mama and call her Lucy if you didn't say they can save $750.
They can actually make $750. If they refer somebody to us to go solar, they can make $750 at a minimum, and that's on that. They also do commercial now, so you can actually, if you own a building that is like a store or something like that, or any type of a manufacturing plant or whatever, you can get solar on your building as well now.
Man, that is
growing
fantastic.
like crazy.
It's horrible for my mom because I worded that wrong, and what I said wrong. So somebody got to go smack my mom and call her Lucy. Sorry, mama.
Well, if you'd like to have the type of money to get yourself out of jail once you smack Dexel's mama, go over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Lucky
and
if you make it to
get in
jail.
contact for a free consultation or refer somebody that you know.
Oh yeah, she gonna shoot you.
We are also brought to you by People of Comedy. Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. Find them on Instagram. See all the great shows offered there. Check in daily as they have new fresh podcasts you can watch and listen to wherever you listen to pods. What up? It is Friday. This was the easiest trip into the city I have ever had from Milwaukee. I don't know what it is this time of year. Whoever the people are, wherever they are, they stayed where the fuck they was, because I think I got down here in like
crazy.
120 or an hour and 25 minutes a day.
Wow,
I wasn't even
dude.
flying. It was ridiculous.
That is crazy. You know what I think it might be? Milwaukee is a full-fledged city right now, as opposed to what they used to be. And the Bucks are winning and playing good. There's probably a dope-ass Halloween weekend planned in Beer City, in Cream City, and people are staying the fuck home,
Bro,
and they're not bringing their ass down to the city.
Madison, Wisconsin is the fucking place to be for Halloween.
Do they have a legendary Halloween?
Oh my God, they shut down all the streets and people just walked up and down the streets of Madison out in the fucking street with costumes on. It was I've had an amazing, I've had an amazing time with amazing people in Madison.
I have kicked it in some very interesting Midwestern towns, particularly in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Appleton comes to mind. Downtown Appleton is all bars.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Madison's a college town, so there's just obviously there's an element to what's going on there that kind of feeds the beast, as it were. Depending on
Halloween being my birthday, I've had some pretty cool experiences. It was probably the coolest one I could think of is I used to live in Burbank for a couple years, and we lived right next to one of the best makeup schools in Hollywood.
Right.
And one of the things that they used to regularly do, like, I didn't know that makeup school was there. And one day, it wasn't Halloween, it was like April. And somebody just walked by like with a zombie face. Like they had a hole in the side of their face and it looked like it was real. And I almost dropped my damn coffee. Like, what the fuck? Like, you see that on a random day and with no explanation. It was wild.
Right.
And as whoever I was with knew exactly what it was and was like, relax, man, whatever. And they told me. But anyway, Halloween, they clown. It was motherfucking actual aliens walking around the coffee shop.
I know that makeup school you're talking about, because you and I, even though we lived there at different times, we lived within like blocks of each other on Burbank.
Dude, it's so weird. It's like some fucking passing ships or whatever. You came through right when I was moving to Jersey.
Yeah, we might be variants.
You know, this has been my OG deal. It's been really interesting because I haven't been in the Midwest this time of year. For a while.
Yeah.
And being here now has been amazing, man. It's been way out. First of all, you know, I like the change of the leaves and stuff.
Right.
But I'm not used to my nipples being, you know, hard for no reason. So I'm like,
hey man, this nigga blood done thinned out completely.
It's cold above.
Dude, the other day he gonna get in my car. It was like 58. He gonna get in my car shaking, talking about turn on the heat, dude. It's freezing. I had on a short sleeve shirt. I looked at him like he was fucking insane.
I mean, don't get me. I appreciate the energy.
This nigga got mittens now.
I got a sweater on here in the studio.
It's like no fingers, no fingers, just mittens, just
wow.
like a Paddington bear, like a.
Man,
I have my mask. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
Hey.
This dude right
you got a fucking it's the new kidney, nigga. It's the Southern California, kidney.
Yeah, when they gave you some surfer guy named Chad's kidney,
baby.
you gotta.
I just be wanting salt water in my veins.
Bro, this is not cool.
What's
gnarly cold?
What's up, X man? How you doing? What's the haps, brother? Before we jump into this week, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay, this is a birthday weekend for me, and I had some plans, and everything has just fallen apart. I had a weekend planned that one of the people who were going to come through she can't make it, so it's just a regular solo weekend. And then my car is acting up, so now it's going to be a straight up solo weekend of just me. It went from a party of 3 to a party of just me. So I'm having a pretty boring Halloween weekend.
Kicking at the crib, most likely. Hey man,
I'm kicking at the crib.
I'm also kicking. I mean, I know it's not my birthday. I'm also kicking at the crib this weekend. So it's you will not be alone in your kicking at the crib in that aspect. You know, maybe.
Yeah. I think I am gonna still throw in a costume and see if a couple single moms in the neighborhood want to hang out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can remedy your situation. There's a locality to where you are that is viable. You know what I mean? You can.
I'm not going to be doing anything this weekend. I'm not doing anything. We've been working real hard on content and stuff, so we're gonna chill out this weekend. And I'm going.
Yeah, you've been putting some shit out, man. You've been doing some shit.
Yeah, I'm going to make chili.
Oh wow, you trying to you getting reacquainted? You're like I'm getting.
Go ahead, get down like I live. You know, it's been a little while. You know, I have my youthful ward with me,
right.
and he digs the chili, right? So
now, what do you use to replace meat in the chili?
Oh no, I'm making this for them. I'm not eating this. I'm making this for
them. Okay.
them.
So you don't use meat. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exactly all.
I mean, I've heard good things about people with vegan chili, but I've never heard it from anybody that I trust what they eat. It's always like somebody wearing Patagonia and Birkenstocks and some shit like that.
Yeah.
You're not nobody with a real palate.
No, I'm looking for. I'm looking for
not anybody with ancestors that know anything about spices and shit.
Yeah, I need legit meat in my chili. That's just I gotta have. Yeah. Otherwise, we eating some soup.
That's what chili
tomato
is.
soup.
Chili is a
if you put the meat in it though,
that's what. Like if you look.
There's a viscous. Yeah. I know. It's just to me the viscousness of it just makes it a different kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like
okay. To each his own. I don't know what you want me to do. Defend vegetables.
No, it's not a real big. It's not a really valued argument for me. I just
back up, Mr. Meat Man.
I mean, there are soups with meat in them also. You know what I mean?
Hey, minestrone is a delicious vegetable soup.
Oh my god.
Minestrone's awesome, but chili needs needs meat. I put chicken. I mean, not chicken. I put turkey meat in mine. But it's just delicious.
I guess I'm the one who's violated chili then. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know what y'all want from me. I don't even get.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh no,
you're making it with the meat. I'm just saying, yo.
There's nothing to defend or be for. No one said anything. This is not about you. This is just a couple gentlemen's thoughts on their ideas of what chili is, man. This is.
I just came out with some chili. Then he a vegan. He couldn't possibly make chili.
I didn't say that.
But that's the way. Like,
No.
This nigga said.
I didn't say that.
Wait, this is literally what X just said. Wait. Let me just hold on. He literally said, "Yeah, man, it's got to have meat in it, my nigga." I'm like, what?
Okay, hold on.
Rewind the tape, man.
I'm sorry. I was trying to say, I was actually trying to give you a compliment because I know you know how to cook. I was saying, if you made a vegan chili, it would probably be tight.
Oh, yeah, my shit gonna be out the chain. Let me tell you something, nigga.
Yeah.
If I have to decide, wait, no, I do want to, thank you, man. I appreciate
this. Is what it
This
is.
is my end. This is my end. Feel me now. Because I know I could do it, I'm about to do it. I'm just not going to do it this weekend. Because this is going to take me taking about a week of my life and sitting down and fucking with all the vegan shit I can fuck with and finding the best one and then taking that one and try to figure out how to get. It'll take me a little bit. But when I get through with it, you'll eat it and be like, yeah, fuck that other shit. Because that's how cold I am.
Hey,
Go on with your regular program.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Yoruba root. Okay?
I'm with you.
Yoruba.
I'm right there with you.
That's it. Just
want to elaborate on that?
Those your big.
Hey man, all you gotta do is
Where's that explosion sound? Yoruba root.
Pow, pow, pow. Pow.
Yeah, horrible. That's so funny.
Oh shit, man. Well, listen. It sounds like we all got shit to do. We still.
And they got shit to do with going outside begging.
No, nothing going outside begging. No. Yeah, you're sticking around for a little bit in the city because you're making this chili. I'm down here a bunch lately. X is obviously gonna be stuck here for a minute because this car's gonna be on the fritz. Maybe we can take advantage of this money that's coming out. Chicago passed a big budget. They're taking $35 million to test universal basic income amongst their residents. So this is only going to be 5,000 low-income families, so this is not a massive program, but it's a pretty decent test pilot program to see what $500 a month essentially will happen if they give that to people. I'm sure these people aren't going to hate it, because if you offer to give me $30 a month right now, I'd be like, yeah, sure. For just being alive, I'll take it. I would. I can supersize something. You know what I'm
that's a Netflix and a Hulu Plus subscription.
Right. Yeah. Or some cheap course I might want to take that I've been holding off on.
Or some SHIB. Buy some SHIB coin.
Don't you dare.
Get a little SHIB coin, right? Get a little SHIB coin. Rob, how you feel about some basic income? You think?
Hey man, yes. There's no argument from me with this at all. None.
Yeah,
none.
It seems like I don't know. Like this is the thing about programs like these is like this is exactly what has to happen. Like you need to do these in these little doses so that because it's the only way you can state your case. This is how you make real change.
But here's the problem: with whatever move you make, something will go lacking. Right. And so based on whatever's going lacking is what the powers that be will do to kill the program.
Yeah, or they're going to, they're going to see the success of people they don't want to see have it, and then we'll put people in place who will end it. Because this is a 1-year program right now. And so, a lot of that's going to be based on how well people can roll with that program, right? Like, if it offends enough people with money, someone will inject money into a campaign that is down with dismantling that program. That's what happens, right?
The number of sales in dispensaries skyrocket to 500%.
At some point, the billionaires who get upset about shit like this are like, nope, we got to stop this. Let's put some money into some shit that'll end that.
Hey, where's the think tank? Come here.
Yeah, they want to kill that noise, which is, Chicago's got to make some big noise in some positive ways. Thank goodness the Bulls are decent because the other team that plays in that stadium is dealing with some real shit right now.
Yeah, man, wow.
The original issue of there being a sexual assault concerned with the Blackhawks came out at one point, and it was like a little murmur of a thing, and then this report came out finally that just kind of broke down what was going on, and essentially in 2010 when the Blackhawks were playing for a Stanley Cup, they got this information in the playoffs, and the leadership of the team were like, we may never get a shot like this again, and they held off on reporting anything until after the season was over. And so this dude, and then that dude who they got let go of, they didn't report to anybody else, like, openly. And so this dude ended up going to work at, I think, a high school somewhere, and then assaulted another kid.
And not only did they just let this motherfucker go quietly and not, like, report shit, when they won the Stanley Cup, they gave this nigga a day with the Stanley Cup. So, like, that's, like, basically endorsing him. That's, you know, like, you gave him a day with the fucking Stanley Cup. He's clearly a part of the Blackhawks family. So that's how he basically got the job, working with kids, and kind of got to cover up his sexual predilection.
Yeah, so like, so like this thing happens, right? They get this young player on the team. This guy assaults him. He reports it. You know, he reports the situation, and then they have a meeting about what to do about it, and then the head coach is like,
okay, so wait a minute. So I just want to make sure.
And then this dude keeps traveling with the team.
Wait. It was one dude who did this.
Yeah.
It wasn't the players.
No.
He was like a trainer, right?
He was a trainer, yeah.
Okay, so
This
this
is the
dude
video
wasn't even,
coach.
The video coach.
So this dude wasn't even vital to the day-to-day function, really, of the team.
I mean,
so it wasn't like half the guys on the ice was
however important a video coach is to a team.
Like, this motherfucker must be a cold video coach.
He must
You know what
have
I'm
been.
saying? Like this nigga is, like, the way he records shit is just amazing. Because what the fuck?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. That, I mean, you know, so that happened, and then the guy who was the victim of the sexual assault came forward and put his name out there.
Al Beach.
Yeah, Cal
Like,
Beach is the guy's name.
The crazy thing is Chicago media, because the Blackhawks were so good, the Chicago media would not have hounded the Blackhawks about that shit at all.
No.
They would have asked for, like, comments, like, immediate comments right after it. The Blackhawks would say, hey, we found out some crazy shit, and we recorded this motherfucker. We wanted him out here. We trying to win a championship. And the Chicago media would be like, great, look how awesome they are. They caught this guy. All right, let's go rent a Stanley Cup. They would like Chicago. Michael Jordan used to argue with Juanita Jordan in public.
Oh, yeah. Openly.
In public.
Openly.
And that shit was never in the paper.
No.
Like, Chicago media doesn't work like that with stars, with athletes when they win.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta be fucking up and losing for them to report. And even when they losing. Even when they losing, when have you ever heard? You don't think the Bears ever get in any kind of trouble in Chicago?
Hey,
you don't think you motherfuckers ever get any kind of bar fights or some shit like that?
Tank Davis, I think that's the only time when they found guns at that nigga's house. That's the only.
You know,
you got to find guns at your crib, though, right?
Yeah, and you know,
and that nigga they
hanging
arrested.
out with. You know, if he'd just been hanging around with white boys, they'd be like, oh, it's nothing. The dudes he was hanging out with.
Here's the actual.
That nigga they arrested at Gibson's too.
Yeah, here's the actual line from the thing. Stan Bowman, who was, I think, the GM at the time, recalled during the meeting that McDonough and Quenneville made comments about the challenge of getting to the Stanley Cup final and a desire to focus on the team and the playoffs.
Wow.
And then this dude gets on planes and flies on the. You know, they're in the playoffs, so they like.
Go.
And so like they're like, we'll deal with this later and let this dude just be around I mean, the guy kept working, right? Like, that's what happens when nothing happens to somebody. Is it like the next morning he gets up and comes to work like everything's fine?
Why you tell anybody?
And you know, it's really,
why did you tell anybody?
Why would you tell anybody if that's the result, right? Yeah.
What's crazy is this motherfucker. I'd be willing to wager a very sad fact that there's probably gonna be more people come out now.
Right.
Because like, I doubt that this motherfucker just did it twice.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So the fallout.
He had the fucking Stanley Cup.
So the fallout of this is that Stan Bowman resigned from the Blackhawks. And then I think another cat resigned from the Blackhawks, and then they went and talked to Joe Quenneville, who's the head coach on the Florida Panthers, and then he resigned. He resigned.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he resigned from the Florida Panthers. He was the head coach. He's been the head coach down there for a minute, and he also resigned after this.
I did
and
not
to be,
know.
not to stereotype anybody, but if you didn't know Joel Quenneville was a hockey coach and you just looked at him, you'd be like, that guy looks like he could be a Predator.
Just like, the name Quenneville.
I mean, every time we draw a picture of a Predator, it's a dude with a mustache, right? A creepy looking old guy with a mustache. What the fuck is this? This is that guy.
Oh.
This is that guy.
Yeah, anytime I see somebody that look like him, I think either rape or oatmeal.
Damn. 3 Stanley Cups and fuck you, huh? 3 Stanley Cups and fuck you, huh, Bobby?
That's it.
Damn, that's harsh. Oh my God.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, maybe a little less hilarious, so a little more shit in Chicago since we're talking about some local shit right now. There is a report that came out about cops and the job they do in other neighborhoods compared to the neighborhoods in which they are highly concentrated in their own lives as far as living. Cops rarely pull over drivers in their own neighborhoods. Motorists in black neighborhoods aren't so lucky. Surprise, surprise, Chicago. We've had some of these conversations about some of these issues here before, but the real thing about this, that statistic is not surprising to me. White police districts see the fewest stops in the entire city, is first of all. But the real issue that came from me was from Alderman Nicholas Spazzato from the 38th. He's in Jefferson Park, and the statement he made to defend the situation that happens is, white people just know how to talk their way out of a ticket. Which I guess, do white people have some magical ticket avoidance language that they haven't just taught everybody else yet, or like
white supremacy?
Right? Yeah, that's the. I mean, I'm saying, like, is there a special? Is it Azabam? Like, what do we gotta say to them? What's the like? Give me the fucking gimmick, man. I want to fucking. What do you need? $20?
I got get in the club.
You got $20? Let's fucking.
Hey man, I've donated to you.
Man, is that what all that homoerotic shit that white fraternities do? Is that them preparing them?
Yeah,
they
teach them all this shit. Yeah, they teach them all this shit. Like Eye of Skull and Beard of Newt, and they fucking do it.
Yeah. Make them geek on a hot dog.
Oh my God. Okay, so wait a minute. Let's just slow down for the old dude.
Yeah.
This is the thing I'm trying to figure out. Like, okay, so this is not. Doesn't this show a consistency?
Wait,
can we get to this? Shows a consistency.
It gets better. Alderman Anthony Napolitano from the 41st district. He's a former police officer and firefighter. He sees few traffic stops because residents rarely violate traffic rules due to a profound respect for the rule of law. That's why white people just are better rule followers than everybody else. Hey, that is correct. Yeah.
There are when I come to my crib from the city, there is a route that I could take that takes me through like just a bunch of regular, not poor, but just kind of regular middle class neighborhoods. And there's a route that takes me through some very, very high end neighborhoods, and I take the high end route every time because there's zero chance there's gonna be a cop. The motherfuckers don't hang out there.
Yeah.
There's no police anywhere around.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm getting from this is these are the places where I can fuck around and probably not get hassled with.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is that. But I was just thinking about how this is happening at the local level. This is happening at the state level.
Yeah.
This is happening at the national level,
Yeah, the stops are predominantly in black neighborhoods. I think it's 6 times the amount of stops. Yeah, 6 times the amount of stops of non-white residents, white residents. That's insane.
So I was driving through Bronzeville one time with my son, and literally like 5 cars, it's no exaggeration, 5 cars got pulled over right in succession, like right behind us as we were going. And like I'm seeing this happen, and I'm just assuming we're about to get pulled over. So I'm telling my son, hey, be cool, woo woo. Let me do all the talking, don't say anything, whatever. And we don't get pulled over. For whatever reason, we're not stopped. But as soon as I realize we're not stopped, I'm like, I say out loud, I wonder what that is. And he casually goes, oh yeah, right before you picked me up, I saw on TV, there was a shooting. So a cop or something got shot over here. And I go, I wish you would have told me that so we didn't drive through this fucking neighborhood. But
yeah, here's an example. Mount Greenwood, a neighborhood that's less than 5% black, is 51% of their traffic stops are of a black driver. 5%, less than 5% black people in the neighborhood. 51% of the stops are black people.
That's where I got stopped at. That's where they locked me up.
Mount
and
Greenwood?
I work for the sheriff's department.
Mount Greenwood is a fucking man. You want to? If you want vitriol, not that I'm trying to guide.
No, I'm sorry, not Mount Greenwood. It was Evergreen.
Evergreen Park. It's right. It's right next to it.
I mean, it's the same. People.
It's the same.
I bet you the stats are the same. Are the stats
pretty close. Pretty close. I'm sure you'd find something that's pretty close there. Not that I'm trying to guide anybody to find shitty shit because I'm not Facebook. But Facebook has a group for Mount Greenwood that is one of the most horrendous sites I've ever been to. It's terrible.
And that's so funny because a lot of people I work with at the jail. A lot of people who got promoted lived in those neighborhoods.
People are very not great. We may be getting some money soon or something. I don't know. The spending bill is something. Here's the thing about these bills, right? Like it was originally 6.1 trillion, and then it was like 3.5 trillion. Now they're talking about 1.9 trillion. And to be honest with you, like, had they just said 1.9 trillion from the beginning, I'd have been like, oh, my goodness, that's fucking amazing. But now because they started at 6.1, I feel like I got to be all mad because it's a third of the size now. And it's like, I don't know, I don't.
So here's the thing. Actually, I think it's closer to 3 trillion, and here's why. That 1.5 that they're doing in the other part of it, that was part of, when they were doing the 6 trillion before, that was part of it.
I'll take that if that's the deal. If that's legit,
they pulled it out. They pulled it out because they thought that was the part they could do partisanship.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
There's
so technically the whole thing is a little bit over 3 trillion. So he got about half, but they can't say that shit until they get it done.
They got to get it done, otherwise it's gonna be a real problem. Otherwise, Joe Manchin's daddy will call him up on the phone and be like, "You must stop
this. Wait a minute, they tricked us. They tricked us,
I am the Lord thou Father Satan. Joe Manchin.
I honestly, here's the thing. I believe this is what they're trying to do. I think the reason why the progressives were so easy to give up so much money, because I think they, like, even if we get this shit at 175, once people get these benefits, once people get the child care, once people get the fucking tax credit for another year, once they get that shit during an election year, that's gonna get them the Senate seat that they can say fuck off to.
That shit better all show up in the mail when they open that shit. Some shit better fall out to be like, Biden did this. Like, they better be, those fucking those cards you can buy for somebody that opens up and it plays music and you're like, oh, are you just trying to annoy me forever? Is that what you're trying to do? Did you buy me this card so I could just tape it shut so nobody ever made this play? That's what they need. They need all the benefits should come in an envelope that every time you open it, it's just like, Biden did this.
And then the Republicans will be like, look what Biden did.
Yeah.
As if they didn't see it before.
Well, he's very, it seems like they're at a point where he has gotten very clear as to what the issue is. Because he's like, listen, this is it, y'all. Like, he told them straight up, he goes, it's not hyperbole to say that, like, the majority of, keeping these majorities and, like, my presidency is going to be defined by, like, what happens in the next week. So I think this is kind of where you're really going to see whether Joe Manchin and Sinema are really full of shit, or if they're, are they just interested in delaying the shit from happening at all, or were they just trying to hold out to get down to where, like, Biden's going to be like, hey, man, you got to fucking make a call, homie. Like, we're not waiting another. Either we're in or we're out right now. You got until this date to tell me what the fuck the demo is and iron this out. Otherwise, we're moving forward, and you have to put the vote into it.
Well, from what they're saying on the news daily, we are so happy to be still working together. Things are moving forward at a breakneck speed and all this other shit. But here's where it lands. At this point, Joe Manchin has already did what he needed to do.
Right.
And that is to show the people who running the stuff that he did all he could. And if it comes down to him having to deal with this thing at the level he got to deal with it at, he pulled it all the way down to it was just a heartbeat.
Yeah, he made it very clear. He made it stands very clear. He was happy. He'd have been fine if they didn't do shit. And so,
hey.
Yeah.
Okay, this is me being very, very, very gifty to the Democrats. Me gifting very huge to the Democrats.
Yeah.
What if these motherfuckers, this was they plan the whole time? You have AOC, hear me out. You have AOC go out and scream $6 trillion. Bernie and AOC say $6 trillion. Joe Manchin plays the villain because he lives in a red state anyway, and so he can look like that asshole. It's not going to hurt him with anybody who votes for him. Even though we're all talking shit about him, that shit doesn't hurt him in West Virginia. They get it down. They look like they're fighting. They nail that shit down to $3 in total, like I said, because if you count the bipartisan one, it's $3 trillion total. They got half of what they went for. What if that was the bet the whole time?
One of my questions of that would be, could they have solved that in a shorter period of time? Do we have to spend 6 months of the fucking? Do we have to see Joe Biden's approval numbers keep dropping to get there? Do we have to go that far?
Maybe they're trying to drag it out so that maybe they're trying to drag it out so the shit hits.
They're trying to leave the least amount of time. They're trying to leave the least amount of time to actually see the response come from it. I think at the start they said that there's probably people who would have looked in their crystal ball and said this is probably where we're going to end up, right? Like if we can do anything, we'll probably wind up around $2 trillion, which is I think why that those having that idea of probably what's reasonable when you hear $6 trillion out the gate. And you go, well, if we could do anything, where do you think that means we'll probably land at? So I think the smart answer probably would have been something like $2 trillion. Yeah, they'll probably fucking trim 2/3 out of that thing and take a bunch of shit out that you like. If you had told me that sounds about what I would have guessed anyway. Yeah. And so because it seems like such an obvious thing, it seems like these guys are not brilliant inventors of things. And so the same way it seems common to me is the same way that that's why they're all like, sounds good to me, because they're just apes in suits.
I would say one of the only reason why I came up with that very generous theory is I was listening to this Republican pollster who actually she was on the Daily Show. I can't think of her name, but she's on the Daily Show if you want to see her. And she was talking about the thing that actually made the Trump voters what differentiated Trump voters from other Republicans, the people who are diehard Trump, was even though they hated all the shit that he did, they liked that they thought that quote unquote he fought for them. He was the guy who said fuck everything and fought for them. So the progressive part of the party is trying to take over. Joe Biden wants to try to be, let them have the keys, right? Because this is a progressive agenda that Joe Biden's put out there, right? I
don't really think it's that progressive, but it's.
Let me say this. He makes it look like the progressive portion of the party fought tooth and fucking nail when the Republicans wouldn't do anything, and even inside the party, the progressives are the one who stopped the bipartisan.
I feel that's so disrespectful.
And they look like the heroes.
I feel like that's so disrespectful to the actual work done by progressives to try and get some of that shit done. To be like, he let them make them look like they were doing good. You know what I mean? Like that's such a fucking.
Yeah, you're.
That's such a fucking
cats, and that's the natural progression of things.
It's such a bow down to
this
the
shit
concept,
is theater,
though.
dude.
You know what I mean?
This shit is politics is theater.
I get some
politics
of that to some degree, but also just like that's just such a, to me that seems like such a dis.
Here's what it looked like to me, honestly. Joe Manchin got an oil company. He got like coal and shit.
Dude, I'll tell you, I saw.
And look, wait, the other chick, what her name?
Cinema.
Cinema, yeah.
Yeah.
This hoe ain't never had shit. Now they giving her a lot of shit. You ever see this? Did you see her before? She's like, let's save whales and shit.
Now that she got a Bugatti. She fucking
man, fuck the.
She be just leaving meetings, dog. She just be like, I got plans, and just will stand up and walk out of some shit.
That bitch is having to build a social media empire while she's sitting in Congress.
Yeah, I saw. I listened to a fucking podcast this week by Post Reports, which is from the Washington Post, and it was called Manchin's Motivations, and it was a whole podcast trying to question like what his actual motivations were, and not a single part of it did they stop and be like, oh yeah, also all these big corporations give him a bunch of fucking money, and he's got a son in the energy business and a daughter in the healthcare business. Like those are the motivations. That's his whole his whole motivations
and
is
he
that
owns a coal
right.
company.
His kid runs it and he's still making millions on it. That's his motivation. There's no question.
This is the shit. This is the shit that I can't understand. I mean, I guess
how you could just
if you
kill
got
a
game, if you if you got a game that's winning, it's hard to make a motherfucker change their hand.
Of course.
But however, like West Virginia would be a very, very, very great place to I think right now it's one of the number one places in America where they actually make solar panels still in the United States. And it would be a great place to like have a lot of people segue, like young people and shit, segue from going into dead fucking industry and going into some new shit. Like they could develop all kind of new shit off a clean industry. Plus the batteries. Oh,
I mean, if you're trying to convince the people of West Virginia that they want something different, you're preaching to the choir. They are not in favor. Like by and large, the people of West Virginia are not interested in what Joe Manchin's preaching. There's just nobody beating him. The money is the problem is he is backed from a corporate level that is disgusting, and no one will fucking confront him on it. That's the whole thing. No one's willing to confront the dude on the real situation, and that's my point about that podcast. Everybody wants to dance around what the fucking real issue is. Somebody who didn't dance around the real issue is Fox News host Neil Cavuto. He actually begged his viewers to fucking get vaccinated. He said, life is too short to be an ass. Life is way too short to be ignorant of the promise of something that is helping people suffer worldwide. Stop the death, stop the suffering. Please get vaccinated, please. And then he got a bunch of fucking death threats.
Yeah.
Then he got a bunch of death threats.
Yes,
after that.
You cannot control the beast. You can't control him. He will run things. That's what the whole Republican Party is finding out. They thought that we can, we get the we got a few stooges out here.
He
said, dude, it's. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say they're like a fucking dragon, man. Like you can control the dragon because the dragon allows you to control him. But like even when Trump told the motherfuckers, he said something about vaccinating or something like that. They started to boo the nigga.
Yeah.
They started to boo Trump, and that's supposed to be the fucking fearless leader.
Yeah.
He can't even tell these niggas to shut the fuck up.
Dude, they're too far gone. And that's the weird thing now is because you got the situation that's going on, you got the situation that's going on in Virginia, where they have a gubernatorial race going on at the moment. And there's this
points for dropping the B.
There's this whole issue about McAuliffe and Youngkin, and it's all Youngkin's whole strategy has been to like try to appeal to Trump voters, but not be overtly like a pro-Trump guy, right? Like he's not saying anything about. And McAuliffe's whole game plan is we got to paint him as just like a Trump guy. Because the people in Virginia are not fond of Trump. They don't want Trump. But like McAuliffe, there's this thing going on right now, and it's happening in any place where they can contest it in school places where there's books going on, right? Any school with books, there are some white people who are upset about any black people saying some shit about some racism or some slavery. Yes. They have decided now in places like Texas and Virginia and a number of other locations that any book where someone is talking about the ills of slavery or racism, they're trying to lump all that into critical race theory. That's the thing that's happening right now. And so in Texas, I think there's 850 books that they're trying to get rid of, including, I'm pretty sure, Toni Morrison's Beloved, which has got its own, it's a hard story, but it's also the fucking story.
There's a woman who is a surrogate for the Republican candidate that actually had a commercial about Beloved specifically, saying that they need to be taken out.
That's the one in Virginia for Youngkin. Yeah. That's the one who is trying to do that.
Yeah, Youngkin.
In Texas, there's 850 books they're trying to get taken away from the I made a comment that it didn't take off like I thought it would. I thought it was pretty clever or whatever. But by their logic, we should not talk about the Revolutionary War because there's people with British heritage and it might make them uncomfortable. Like they were the bad guys. They were the fucking redcoats, killing Americans and shit. Like, but by that logic, you can't talk about any history.
if we're gonna be sensitive to white people's fucking feelings.
I think that. And
how about this? How about you guys stop being assholes to people, and then we won't have to say bad things about you when we tell the truth.
I think that we might have discussed this before, but again, it has something to do with the government. By and large, the people who buy the most books in the country are in the state of Texas. So when you purchase, now this is capitalism. So if I buy some shit, I put what I want to put in it. You see what I'm saying? So even if it's the textbooks that kids got to learn from, and even though they pay tax dollars for it, we run the stuff. That's why they keep running down lower and lower in government.
So this is what got McAuliffe in trouble in Virginia, because what he said is that parents shouldn't be telling the school what they should be putting in the books and shit. Which is like, hey, listen, man, my kid is 16. I definitely, like, I have some things I'm hoping that she's learning and I would like to see her learn, but there's some things that I could teach her, like balancing a checkbook. I can teach a kid how to do that, right? Like, sure, if the school's going to teach her, great, but like, I'll check in. Do you know how to do a couple basics? We're good. But like, I also don't think I should be the one telling the school what to be teaching. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an education degree. So like, who the fuck would I be to tell? You know what I mean?
Well, if you're trying to keep control of the climate.
Yes. I'm speaking in a different manner than right. Like, I'm speaking from a non-interested,
from somebody who just wants somebody to learn the truth.
Well, I believe that like the whole concept, like the idea of putting a Department of Education together, a strong Department of Education, is putting together a Department of Education who is going to make sure that like history is taught. Some things that show us not in the best light in the world, and some things that show our resiliency and our greatness, so that you can see who the fuck we are. It's okay to be like, Washington had slaves, but also helped create a country where now we get to be alive and like could potentially prosper. He can be both those things. He can be both of them, and like, you know, I think we'd be in a place where the acceptance of people's flaws would be greater if we stopped trying to like whitewash the fact that people have them.
We stop trying to lionize them and act like just because they did some good things, they couldn't have fucked up too. Like, hey man, people are human beings, and this is the thing that's a weird thing in that humans that it just blows my mind about society in general. And this is a worldwide thing. If you look at any part of history, every person in history, going as far back as you can read some shit, the leaders that ran some shit also did like horrible shit, but like they created something beautiful, or they created a new society, but then they also fucked kids or had like 19 wives, or they murdered a bunch
And I'm not
of
trying to make excuses for any of those things, right? Like, it's not like, you know, you still have to pay whatever the penalty is for that thing, and sometimes that means you don't get to be in charge of whatever the fuck anymore, or sometimes that means I don't want to listen to whatever your music is. It could be any one of those things, right? But like, there's an element of that where there's a dismissiveness that happens sometimes with people who don't flaw at that level, but for a tinier flaw get excommunicated in some way that doesn't work out. And that's not in defense or support of anybody, but just in general, we tend to do that with people overall. I mean, I think the most dismissive thing in the world to me is astrology, because people will be like, "What day were you born?" And just because you were born on some day, some odd years ago, people are like, "Oh, I can't fuck with you." That sounds like bigotry to me.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't know one way or the other. That's why I don't have you know what I mean? I don't give it that much thought, because I'm busy thinking about other stuff, and I smoke a lot of weed, and I don't want to get caught in the clouds when all the shit is happening to me is around on the ground.
By the way, I wasn't endorsing the murder. Those people I say were murder shit. I was just saying it's fucking people there's monsters and shit. Sometimes they're monsters. We got to be able to accept it. That's all I was trying to say.
I just by and large, for me, it's what it always is. It's capitalism. Whatever you did that was shitty was cool as long as you was making me money. But the moment you start making me money, or people find out that you do shitty shit, then I got to stop.
Right.
Because you don't believe for 1 second that people don't be knowing what these people be doing in their spare time, and it don't come out.
Well, I mean, look at this. I mean, you look at the Blackhawks situation, right? That's exactly the situation. They were in the midst of trying to make that money. There's big bonuses that happen when you win Stanley Cups. There's all types of exposure. There's more money coming in. There's more merch that gets sold. You don't want to fucking let that shit come out.
And the same could be said for government.
Right.
Who is already in the lead and who want to keep it, and how much to the degree you could do that.
Speaking about letting some shit come out.
Wait, can I just go to one thing?
Yeah.
Let's go back to this Facebook thing for a second. If they could control enough people to make them go to the Capitol, why do you think they wouldn't name themselves Meta? They are building their own army. I'm telling you.
You said, can we go back to the Facebook thing? We're just starting to talk about the Facebook thing. We didn't start.
Hey nigga! I was about
Did you come back from the future? What the fuck happened?
I put my pipe down. I was like, I missed the whole fucking Facebook conversation. I was like, oh shit. How the fuck did I just miss the whole Facebook conversation? We didn't have that yet.
That was a pre-show conversation. My bad.
You are high. Holy shit. You are the right amount of high right now. That's hilarious. Yeah, that was actually the next thing I was going to bring up.
And I stopped him. Oh my God, I stopped him.
Hey, before you talk about Facebook, let me go back to talking about Facebook.
Let me go back to what you were about to talk about.
Actually, let's go back to talking about Meta, because that is Meta is now the big daddy company of all of the things, Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and all that stuff. That is what Meta is now. There's a number of things that have happened recently with Facebook. These papers came out that revealed a bunch of shit about
the Facebook files,
what Facebook had been up to, how they would specifically, knew that the shit that they were putting out and the way they were doing it was damaging both to young people, teenage girls and teenage boys, more so teenage girls and boys, but both. And also how their lack of curbing misinformation led to things like the January 6th insurrection, which is not looking good for them. So there's two things, and then on the other side of this, their reports internally have also shown that young people are not fucking with Facebook. Like they're just
young people haven't been fucking with Facebook in a while.
My
son has never had a Facebook.
They're not fucking with Facebook, and they're not really fucking with Instagram as much anymore either. They've moved away from both of those things overall. It's Snapchat and TikTok for young people right now. That is where all the energy is over on those areas. Snapchat and Discord, but like Snapchat is a big communication device between young people. And Facebook, had this been, 10 years ago, they would have probably bought Snapchat and TikTok by now, but they can't do it because there's already too much breathing down their neck about what's happening. And so this dude is looking to make a shift. He's looking to make a shift. They have more users than any country on the planet has people. They have 3 billion users on their site.
Well, if you've listened for as long as 5 minutes, you know how I feel about it.
So he's now so this is a company, just so I can clarify this for you guys. This is a company who has been identified as a main cause of misinformation that has distorted real life people's concept of reality so much that they went to the capital of this country, broke through police, and then rubbed shit on the walls. And the move that they're going to make now that this is being found out, so that everybody's realizing the level of the part that they've played, is to diversify themselves into a company that is now going to focus on a virtual reality space where you can go in and create your own reality. Is that right? Is that what they're like, we're so good at making people believe that shit that isn't real is real. We can make a whole new reality for you to go hang out in if you want to do that.
Come over here and kick it in us.
By the way, I predicted that's going to end up being a huge problem with kid porn. Just a prediction.
Oh God, man, yeah. I mean.
It's essentially trying to make another internet.
Well, because here's the deal: is they are, like we just talked about,
internet inside the internet. Yeah.
Here's what we just talked about. They are not bringing in like young people, and so they got to figure out a way to bring young people in. This is obviously their attempt, and he's looking 10 years down the road here. They're investing $10 billion into this thing. $10 billion. That's a whole. It'll have its own financials. It'll have its own thing going on. They are going heavy into AR, which is augmented reality, where you'll wear glasses or whatever and shit will overlay on the reality that you're in. And they're going real heavy into this, Ready Player One type shit, where literally you could be in LA and I could be here. We could probably sit down here, and with the right setup, you could look like you're here. And we could have a conversation in the same room where it looks like we're next to each other, or whatever the fuck else we might decide to do in a room with each other, or whatever conversations we might decide to have with each other about what have you could happen in places where nobody else could hear except the fucking network that you're in, probably.
Yeah, and I do. It's even so dope that if somebody like is. So me and let's say you went to a Wu-Tang concert, Bobby, right?
Right.
And you're like, X, man, you got to see this shit. This is amazing.
Right.
And I'll be like, hey, link me into the network. I could look like I'm at the concert with Bobby watching motherfucking show.
I feel like it's unfair for this to be done by somebody who looks so much like a robot, though, right? Like, he looks too much like an actual android to be able to fucking get to do all this. Someone just be like, but we need to check your circuitry first, Mr. Zuckerberg.
So now how are they going to capitalize on that money?
Well, see, that's the thing you can actually probably get people to pay for subscriptions for.
I know, right? But I mean, even within that, there's got to be a commercial somewhere.
Yeah. In some other crazy.
Oh no! What? No! They've already set it up. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it's gonna be. You're gonna pay for a subscription to be inside that world, right?
Right.
And once you're inside that world, everything inside that world. If you play video games right now,
yep.
All video games with Bobby with the game Bobby plays all the time.
Yep.
You can upload. You pay money to make your avatar look different. So in the video when they had the demo for it. He had different outfits and shit. He was a spaceman. He was shit. That shit's gonna cost you money.
That's how it works.
That's how they go make money.
So here's how it works on Fortnite, right? Like,
and they could brand it, nigga. And they could brand it. Like I play NBA 2K. NBA 2K has actual fucking commercials in the fucking game.
Yeah.
Like you could put a Taco Bell scrolling thing on your fucking I could create my own. Like you know how you have the basketball game, the thing scrolls showing you like different ads and shit. You can create your own in the game, and they have ones already built in and shit.
Yeah, that's how Fortnite works. So, like in Fortnite, when you start, you just have like one character, and then like there's challenges you can complete where you can actually that unlock characters that you can then have. There's also like if you pay money for what's called a battle pass, then you get access to like going up these levels, and every once in a while you get so many levels. There's free characters there, but then they also have a daily store. Where based on how much money you want to spend or whatever credits you might have or whatever, you might be able to go in there and you can buy whatever character it is.
And what do these things cost?
So I think the lowest amount you can spend to get 1,000 V-Bucks is $8. And to get like 5,000 V-Bucks, it's like $32. And so the average character is like 800 to 1,200 V-Bucks. So you're talking probably, four. You can probably buy 4 characters for $32. So like $8 a character. But they also sell things like back bling and gliders that range anywhere from 200 to 1,200 V-Bucks. So emotes and shit like this. So that's how. But that, I could definitely see that being how that works in a metaverse, right? Like you get a free account, you can come in, you can play, you can look like this boring drab hobo looking guy. And then depending on challenge you put or how much money you want to throw down, the store will have different options. You can buy outfits and shit every day. That'll be. And
I'll give you an example. Like with 2K, like if you have a my player character, if you want him to get like the Kobe's or some shit like that, or the newest Jordans, or even some Yeezys or something, sometimes that shit's not in the store. You have to buy these packs that have random shit in there. But like you could buy the more expensive packs. The higher chances that you win the right thing to get the code, to get the fucking gear and stuff. So like there's a bunch of different ways they can generate money for that they can also do marketing with other companies. Cause like Nike or Yeezys or whatever would sponsor that pack.
Right.
Like they do a whole ad with that thing and get a bunch of motherfuckers to buy that thing, to buy their thing. So they're generating income right there.
A guy who is doing things without having to create a whole new universe. Well, he's looking at probably flying to some different universes. But Elon Musk, Tesla was actually valued at $1 trillion the other day. Worth $1 trillion. It made Elon Musk worth $287 billion. He paid nothing in income taxes in 2018. Just so clear.
It is insane.
He also is upset about the fact of potentially having to pay taxes. He criticized a tax proposal that would target American billionaires to fund a safety net expansion. It represented the start of a new campaign from Democrats to redistribute wealth from the richest Americans. Yeah, of course. Eventually, they run out of other people's money. Yeah, because
Wait
you've
till
been vacuuming it up with your fucking.
Hey,
Wait till you get, wait till you
Elon,
get, wait till you get your turn to be a trillionaire. Then you'll know how I feel.
Right. Yeah.
Hey man, I hate when rich motherfuckers say that shit. We run on other people's money. I was like, okay, let's test it out. You first,
Right.
motherfucker. Let's see how much of your money we can run out of before. Cause like,
Yeah. It's just a crazy stance to take. Like,
here's the craziest shit about it is this motherfucker has $280 billion. Hey man, if we take $100 billion, there's not a single fucking. What does he think it's gonna take him longer to get to Mars if he loses 100
nothing
billion?
would change
Like,
for him. Nothing would change
nothing.
for him. Nothing would change for him. Everything
no
would be the same.
island on the planet that he can't buy.
In fact, I'd be down to like, what's some free shit you could give to him? What, can we give him a whip every year or something? Can we can we just like give him like a piece of land? Can we trade you like a portion of land for $100 billion?
I think they're asking him for 2 or 3 cents.
Yeah, they're not asking for a lot. They're not even trying to take that much from him.
Or 3 cents.
Here's the craziest thing about it. Here's the craziest thing about it. Here's the craziest thing about it that's so stupid for Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Facebook. This is why it's so stupid for them to oppose this.
Yeah.
Is because that $100 billion that we take from Elon Musk would likely be used to help build the fucking electric car network, the fucking charging stations and shit that we need everywhere, and also subsidize people buying electric cars. It would probably make his fucking company worth a fuck ton more money.
He wants to tax he's fine with taxing people to do it. He just wants it to be all the way down the line. So he wants to depress everybody else's shit along the way.
I get that, but it would still benefit him more.
Hey,
Here's the real reason here's the real reason why they need to get to the program, because the people you named, there's only 4 of them. That's not enough to defend yourself in the end, nigga. You can't buy enough security if enough people get angry at you, dog. There's 330 million other people here, and
I'm going to the moon. Fuck you, bitches.
Hey, man, I've been saying this shit forever. I'm not a cannibal, but something tells me billionaire tastes delicious.
Speaking of going to the moon, Jeff Bezos is about to make some real-life space vacations real on a regular basis. He's looking to buy up some space real estate. He's going to set it up where there's a space station, like a fucking timeshare up there. It's the large integrated flexible environment. This is the whole gimmick, man. This is the whole gimmick. They're gonna create a space habitat. So this is the move. This is gonna be the thing where they fucking like, are you tired of hanging around niggers? Spend a weekend away where the blacks can't come and play.
Hey, man, do you know the amount of space trash is out there?
Just waiting to rip through that motherfucker.
Been throwing shit up there forever. So just like anything else, they're going to have to go further out because they're going to fuck that up.
Right.
So here's a perspective on that I've heard someone say is they're not going to be going anywhere up there. That's not going to be an escape from the niggas. It's going to be where they send niggas, because it's like, hey, they would have to spend so much fucking time and money to make that shit hospitable and cool and clean. And why the fuck would they do that when the Bahamas are right there? All they got to do is get rid of us.
Because
get rid of the people.
Yeah, do you not realize these white people cannot live on this hotter climate? They are not going to survive. There's so many of them that can't even be out in the sun. You think they can handle a 2-degree increase? These niggas will not make it.
Yeah,
dog.
if they get rid of enough of us, they think the whole shit will the climate change shit will slow down.
Now, I do agree that there'll probably be some space prisons. I do agree that's some place that, like, listen, if they did Guantanamo, they'll surely put somebody up in a space prison. They're gonna find some reason.
Hey, let me tell you something. What if you got your time cut in half if you did it in the space prison?
Right? Yeah, because of whatever the speed or whatever. Yeah, they just gave you that. Yeah, that'd be amazing. I don't know if this is. I don't know. Like,
well, you ain't got to worry about escape.
See, this is what sucks. I've talked about this before. That it makes me so mad that billionaires.
You got to worry about escape. Damn.
It makes me so like. This is one of the things that makes me so mad about these people, because like as a kid into sci-fi, this is everything you would dream would start to like. altruistically, right? If you believe that the world, if there's any chance that the world could be like fair and hospitable, you think like in sci-fi where like, wow, these societies must have had to come together so that like there's people. It seems to be like nobody really talks about race necessarily on, you know what I mean? Like even though there are allegories for a lot of those things, and then you see it start to happen in real life, and it's like, oh no, this rich motherfucker just set up so that rich people can go hang out away from everybody if they get tired of being with people.
Hey man,
you know, like you're like, oh, this is not the way I wanted this to go
at all.
Hey man, I never really thought of it because I just didn't think of it like this until you just said the sci-fi shit. Like,
yeah.
If you think about most of those sci-fi movies, it's always like there's a confederation or an organization. There was a one rich motherfucker that like figured out the space travel shit, and he's like the big rich Biff motherfucker of the whole thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I just realized that these Bezos and Witchface are trying to either be that motherfucker or be the motherfucker that leaves the company to the dude that does that. And oh shit. Yeah, that's gross.
In some last few stories before we're getting out of here, a weird situation is going down at Howard University. There are some students who are protesting some poor housing conditions on campus. Seems like there's all types of, I think they were finding like mushrooms that had grown underneath the sinks in some of the places there, which is not what you want.
And not the good kind. Not the good kind.
No. You know, black mold, things like that are being found there, which I am deathly allergic to. That will kill me.
Oh my God.
So it would fuck me up.
Come on, black colleges.
Yeah, so, you know, hopefully some money gets put in there to solve that situation and get some things.
And the irony of this, happening now is Howard University was having a real good run.
Yeah.
Like Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris. Also, they got the sister that did the 1619 project.
Ava DuVernay, right? Isn't she involved with
Ava DuVernay is from Howard. But the sister who I can't think of the name. I can't think
Hannah
of...
Nicole.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Hannah Nicole. Yeah. She actually has a painting by my cousin. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
This nigga's a bastard. I'm starting to hate your entire life. Just, hey, man, my uncle created the wheel. Fuck you.
Still Life Gallery. Shout out Still Life Gallery.
Still Life Gallery. Love shout outs. Yeah, here's some wild ass shit. Walmart had some aromatherapy spray they were selling. And then it turns out this spray had some bacterial shit in it that's like killing people.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But don't take the vaccine.
I low key yeah. Hey, sometimes
What's up, man?
How many times they gotta kill motherfuckers before it stop being a coincidence, man?
I mean, maybe Walmart is not the best spot to go for aromatherapy. You know what I mean?
Maybe Walmart got the best. It's a lot of people. Hey, how many times you hear about people getting killed in Target?
Right.
Motherfuckers constantly dying at Walmarts, fam.
They recalled 3,900 bottles of the spray. It was manufactured in India, sold at about 55 stores and on its website.
Oh, wow.
It's melioidosis. It's a rare and sometimes fatal bacteria. Poor.
Wow.
My wife listens.
No thank you.
My wife listens. And
hey.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Renee.
Listen, baby. Could you please rewind the tape? Stay the fuck out of Walmart. Please, just stay the fuck away. Those 3 nickels will
order
find them
online.
somewhere.
Oh, wait. Don't even order online because you can probably get
You're going to get the same shit you got in the store.
So a dude got some coronavirus relief aid, which a lot of people got coronavirus relief aid. And I know we talk about some of the wild things people put their money into. This dude spent $57,789 on a Pokemon card. Rob, what do you think the appropriate punishment for that should be? Because that's money that could have gone to somebody who could have actually used it, right? That's
I don't know, because like if you are able to fill out the application, what are we to do?
Hey man, let me ask you a question though. How much is that card worth now?
Right. It was originally $57,000.
That card is worth like $90,000 now.
It was originally worth $57,789. Now it's worth $57,793. It is.
So he made money.
I just made that up. I have no idea what.
I was like, wow.
Wow. Not a great investment, buddy. You did not do anybody any good.
I'm just trying to understand why. What do you get like? Yes.
I mean, he thought he was going to get away with it. He thought he was going to hold on to it until it was, made enough
I'm
money.
saying though, if you have it, what does it do for you? Like,
so what happened? Like, did they come and say, "Hey, we need to see what you did with the money"? And he was like, "Oh shit, I didn't think y'all was gonna ask me that."
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure.
Was it just like an audit type thing? And they were like, "Hey, we'd like to see some receipts on how you spent that $57,000 we gave you." And he was like, "Oh, really? Oh, like I don't understand how."
Yeah, like you.
Caught,
I mean,
like,
you have to submit. Yeah, I mean, this guy thought he was going to be able to fucking hide the money, hide the thing somehow.
Maybe he thought he was going to flip it.
Yeah, he probably thought he was going to flip it and then put that money back into his shit. People be gambling on some wild ass shit, man. People are very bad at like judging like how capable it is to pull off a scheme. Part of that is because we do these 2-hour things called movies where we have people pulling off all types of wild schemes. People are like, yeah, I'll just fucking buy the card, I'll flip it, and then I'll put the money back in, and I'll keep the extra for myself. And it's like, no.
Ultimately,
people
it's
do
because
weird shit. Like,
ultimately, it's because you're not educated on what the system really is.
Right. Yeah.
So if you got to find your way to inject your value into it, because you ain't gonna get around it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a ridiculous idea, even in the first place.
I don't understand people be doing wild shit like that. Like, for instance, I don't know if are you guys familiar with Fetty Wap?
Yeah.
Fetty Wap got arrested by the feds today.
Really?
For drug trafficking. And I just had a question for Fetty Wap. Like, nigga, do you think nobody at the FBI listens to your music? You are constantly talking about selling drugs, which is cool. That's a great way to sell music. However, you can't.
It's a terrible way to sell drugs, though.
Yeah, you can't actually be selling drugs and saying in the song exactly how. Like, this nigga's.
I'ma be on the corner of 8th and 16th. Selling crack. Just ask for Fetty. I'm right in Alabama.
In my little rider car with green ass seats.
Yeah. License plate is XQJW.
Hey, dude. His number one
Just
song.
giving every.
His number one song is Trap Girl. In the lyrics, he's literally breaking down how much shit costs and how to like to cut it up and all this shit. And I'm like, hey man, even if I didn't have any other reason to think that you actually sold drugs, if I was with the FBI, I'd look into it.
Hey, I at least think you was running a university.
Right? Yeah, you're not Professor Xavier.
I gotta at
Goddammit.
least know it's gonna be some sprinkles of other people who know how to do this shit.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's so wild. In the last couple stories before we get done here, there was almost a Black Manta movie, which I would have fucking paid to see. They're working on Aquaman 2 right now. Did you see the first Aquaman movie?
Oh, they're not doing that? I thought they were going to do that.
So remember when they were talking about doing that movie called The Trench? Remember after Aquaman 1, they were like, oh, we're going to do a movie about all these fucking crazy creatures down here. We're going to call it The Trench. It was supposed to be like a horror movie. That was actually supposed to be a Black Manta movie. They were trying to like put together a movie where it was just going to be all about Black Manta, which would have been so fucking dope, man.
It's so weird. I didn't hear anything about that Trench thing, but I heard about the Black Manta movie. and I'm disappointed that the Black Manta movie's not happening.
You know what they should do is since HBO Max is doing all these little series now, I would take a Black Manta series for sure. Give me 6 episodes of this of Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I mean, he was already fucking down with HBO because he did The Watchmen there.
To do it. Yep.
He did Watchmen there, so like, they're barking up the right tree when it comes to that.
I know, right? I think that's it has to be happening somewhere.
I would take it. X, I want to ask you about your future on social media here in a second, but the last thing I want to talk, if you're down to talk about it, the last thing I want to talk about here is it's the 20-year anniversary of the iPod. The iPod, I think, is a big revolutionary situation in that it went from the iPod is that thing working and becoming popular is why we all have these things now. Mm-hmm. That thing becoming popular is why we have these now, because the idea that you could dump any other external pieces of equipment, right? All you knew was that little box thing, and you needed some headphones, and you were good to go. And you weren't playing the radio. You could store shit on there, right? You could literally store thousands, from a few songs to thousands of songs to,
Mm-hmm.
People said Napster killed like the record store thing, but the iPod
99-cent
was just
singles,
as
baby.
much.
99-cent singles wrecked all that shit because it showed that there was a market to buy some music but not full albums, and that was the end of CDs. That was the end. The very fucking end.
And you could download that shit and take it with you
immediately.
Yeah,
immediately.
That shit was game changer, especially no skipping anymore, like fucking CDs and shit. You could jog with it.
It was a wrap, dog. It was a wrap. And then they started coming out with different sizes and different versions. And then that shit was like, well, we could fucking fit this. And, you know, we got these cell phones going on. The technology came to slide that shit together.
This was before wireless headphones, too. You still had to be plugged into that motherfucker, and it was still
that shit was only a couple of years ago I got that rolling. So, X, are you down to talk about your social media situation?
It's real quick. It's not any kind of big drama thing. Facebook, the people who run Facebook are fucking monsters, man.
Agreed.
Like, they witnessed the February 6th shit happening they had people warning them at the highest levels, and they completely ignored it. Plus, when you talk about things like with how they knew young women's in egos or whatever, I don't know, I'm wording it wrong, but they knew that they were having a negative effect on young women, and they were like, fuck it, because they were trying to get the bread. I can't in good conscience like daily contribute content to that where I'm like fucking generating likes for my own little personal thing. I have come to terms with there's a phrase necessary evil, and I think we use it too much, and I don't really think there are necessary evils. I think there are evils that we just accept because we don't want to deal with the shit, or we don't want to lose our little part of it, and I'm not going to contribute to that company. Now, I'm going to be on Twitter, and I'm probably be on Snapchat and TikTok. I know I'm going to be on those, and somebody might argue that there's maybe something similar, but as far as I can see, I don't know anything about Snapchat and TikTok as far as their political fuck-ups or anything like that, but they didn't help overthrow the fucking government. And Twitter was the first one to actually go after Trump and censor him, and also they were the first one to block him. And Jack Dorsey works with Jay-Z, so I'm gonna.
If you got the Jay-Z endorsement, I know X is gonna fucking you might as well fucking forget about it. Yeah, I hear you.
So I am. Sunday is my birthday, and I'm killing my Facebook. I'm fully deleting it. Like this isn't one of those deactivate. I'm gonna come back in 6 months when I'm meeting it. I'm actually doing the delete, like kill the fucking thing, because. Fuck them. Fuck them. I'm sick of them. I'm going to try to do some other shit.
How are you going to promote your shows?
You know.
How would you get those 7 people to show?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. I think that's a big step. I think you know, it's a thing I've definitely put a lot of thought into as well. You know, that plug isn't far away from me either. It's a big thing to consider. I've been trying to up the way that I want to do the future of the content that I want to put out, because I know that, you know, I don't want to be where the old people are just hanging out either. You know what I mean? Like,
that too.
If the young people are moving, you know, yes, on top of that fact that I've got a daughter who I definitely don't want to see her negatively influenced, and also don't want to play a part in keeping that as a thing that's going. You know, I also want to be where the people, I like, again, this whole thing that we've done has always been about the idea of being supportive of like the newer ideas that are coming out. I want to be where the newer ideas are.
I think so.
I want to stay where the newer ideas are. And for that, plus this idea of like this dude trying to create a little alternate reality where you can go and fucking do wild shit seems like the start of every horror sci-fi movie about a dude who's lost his shit of anybody I've ever dealt with. That's kind of concerning to me, so I applaud that. Are you going to be anywhere this weekend? Anything going on, man? And then where can people find you?
Next week I'm at Lincoln Lodge on Thursday.
Hell yeah.
And I got some other shits coming up I just can't think of because I'm bad at this.
Are you doing G-Man? What show is on Thursday there? What show?
God, I can't think of it.
Fuck it. Where can they find you?
Kicking It With Comics.
Where can they find you?
XL Comedy on Twitter. XL Comedy on Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok.
Right where you at?
Robert_L_Hines on across all social media for everything that we are working on currently.
Nice. I will be doing a show not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, November 7th, with High Life Brands. It's going to be called Baked and Roasted. It is a bunch of weed vendors who are out with a bunch of great weed and samples for you. And then we're doing stand-up. We've got Zach O'Ryan, we got Kimberly Marin, we got Ken Flores, we got myself. It's going to be a fun fucking time. You can go to Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and find out all my information in the link in my bio. Get to New OGs Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Find us there. Get over to People of Comedy on Facebook. Get them on People of Comedy and People of Comedy Network on Twitter and Instagram to find some of their great shows and find out what they're up to. Shout out to James Webb working them boards today,
James
baby.
Webb, shout out.
Have a good one.
Go
Catch you
James
next
Webb,
week.
shout out, Sam. I was
That's
late
what's
on
up.
that, sorry.
All about getting cheddar indeed. Guala mozzarella, parmesan cheese. Say you ballin', but not in my league. Say you ballin', but not in my league. Yeah, whole lot of niggas changed since we came up. They can try to steal the moves, but they ain't us. Think you gang, but nigga, you a stranger. Bitches wanna fuck, but nigga, you can't blame us. Whole lot of niggas